Hello, welcome to the workshop for Foreigner My Body. I'm Sarah, I use they them pronouns. I've got blonde hair, I'm wearing glasses, I've got a teeny tiny beard growing. I'm white, I'm wearing a grey t-shirt or shirt, and I'm sitting in front of, well, on one side there's a bookshelf and the other side is just white wall. Let me talk a little bit about Foreigner My Body first. It was a project that we did mixing theatre and circus. We were exploring the parallels between being trans and being a foreigner in the UK, both of which is my lived experience. And we did so using audio description. Because we were really exploring the topics in regard to how you've got ownership over your own body. So we used audio description to describe someone, which can be problematic because what you see is not necessarily how they identify. So we used audio description as a narrative tool, and so rather than just describing what was happening on stage, the audio description actually was a character in their own right and had quite a lot of power over what was going to happen. So they could force the performer into certain gendered movements, they could force them on a plane, for example, where they didn't want to go to that destination. And the whole conflict of the story ended up being the teaching moment for the audio description to gender the character correctly and to describe them correctly. As part of Foreigner My Body, I ran a series of workshops where we were exploring gendered movements and the way how your identity isn't necessarily the way how other people see you. And these are a few exercises because I thought I'd share them with everybody rather than just the workshop participants. Just one quick disclaimer, we do use audio description for Foreigner My Body, but we had an access consultant to help us with that because I'm not an audio describer and I can't teach about audio description. In the workshop, we're going to just use audio description as a sort of narrative tool to explore language. Now, this is what we did in the workshop. So first, we always start with a warm-up because there's going to be some movement. Keep in mind what your body can do. Everybody's body is different, so do a warm-up that suits your body. So a thing that I really like to do if I'm working with a group is that we just go around in a circle and everybody contributes a move, because that way everybody has at least one move that they're really comfortable with, and I make sure that everybody knows that they can adapt movements to their capabilities. Once you're all warmed up, pick a movement routine, something really, really simple, literally 4 moves that can be looped. So it can be something really simple as, okay, I'm going to punch once into the air, then I'm going to wipe my face with the other hand, cross the arms in front of me and down. So that would be punch, wipe, cross, down. Next, you're going to describe your routine. You can add a little bit of detail. What I was doing earlier was very, very basic, so I could add things like punch up with my right arm and only up to head height. Wipe down the face from top to bottom. Cross the arms in front of my chest rather than, for example, in front of my face. So really add a little bit of detail that a person can really picture it, even if they can't see it. But I want you to describe it in one of these 3 styles. Style number 1, you're writing a poem and your whole movement routine is a poetic metaphor. So it could be a tree growing, a flower blooming, a building burning down. I don't know. So I don't know if this is a tree shoot growing up, but then the rain is coming down and I don't know what this is. No wind, I don't know. Second is, imagine you are an animal, though not an actual animal, you're a human, in a David Attenborough documentary, and he's describing what you're doing. So again, not as an animal, he's literally just describing what you're doing for his audience, but that style. Try and describe yourself in that style. And then the last option is, you're giving instructions to a puppeteer. So you're the puppet. Puppeteer needs to know how you need to be moved. So for example, okay, pull Sarah's arm up to about head height for a punch up in the air, then take Sarah's other hand up and let it slide down their face. You get what you need to do. So something like that. Just 2 more things. First, please narrate it in third person, so don't say, oh, I'm doing this and then I'm doing that. And secondly, don't be shy with the detail as long as you've got enough time to put it in together with your movement. So you might have to slow your movement down a little bit. If you're working with a group, then you can show back at this point, let the partner read out your description while you do the movement sequence. If you're working with yourself, you can skip that step and go straight to the next step where we're going to have a look at the text that you've just written, the description. First of all, I would like you to mark out all the gendered language that you have in there. And I'm just not meaning just the pronouns. Have a look at adjectives you've used. Something like, I don't know, strong and forceful might evoke more masculine image in your head, whereas elegant and graceful is more feminine. So have a look what kind of language you used about yourself just now that might hint at a gender going beyond mere pronouns. Once you have marked all that out, I would like you to just have a little think about which bits of that you like and which bits you think, oh yeah, that fits me. That's exactly what I would like other people to think of me when they're describing me. And think of things where you go, I wish people didn't see me like that. If you have a lot of things where you go, I wish people didn't see me like that, rewrite the whole text. Rewrite it in a way how you would love to be described. If you did describe yourself in exactly the right way of like, yeah, this is really affirming, I love this, try to do the opposite and write it in a way where you would kind of go, oh, horrible audio describer, why are they saying that? Obviously, keep yourself safe. Don't put anything in that might trigger gender dysphoria or any other triggers. You know yourself best. Take care of yourself. If you're doing this by yourself, then maybe pre-record the audio description as a voice note, whichever one you want, the one that you really love, or maybe one where you're feeling a bit ooh, and perform to that description and see what it does to your movement, whether it affirms you, whether it makes you feel more confident or less confident, and just explore a little bit with different kinds of descriptions and how they inform the way you move. If you're in a group, you can swap descriptions now and see if you can perform to someone else's description. I found that last exercise in a group really interesting for two reasons. The first one being you kind of really see how you can interpret language differently. So to you, the description might be really obvious, but to someone else, there might be a lot of different things in there where they're not sure where to put things. For example, as I said before, I crossed my arms and I added in front of my chest because I could cross them here, I could cross them above my head, I could cross them down here where you can't even see them on camera. And I also found it really interesting to just explore someone else's movement. You get to do the things that someone else just described for their own body and you get to do it as well. And I think that's a really nice exercise in a group. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this and you found it useful. And thank you for showing an interest in Foreigner in My Body. Bye!